Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Pick and Day number 29 of my favorite 31 album blind buys of all time. That's right, we've been talking about it all month long. Those albums we bought in the record store, never heard them before, saw an album cover, figured we had to have it. Maybe we heard of the band or artist, maybe we hadn't, but we couldn't pass up that album cover. Maybe someone had recommended the band to you, right? You said, I'm going to take a chance. You bought it. You brought it home, bingo, home run, right? Today is a perfect example of something like this. In this case, this one's a little bit different. So in this case, I had heard one other song from this band from a couple of albums before that I actually liked, but I never bought that. And then I happened to see this album in the store, and I immediately loved the album cover, because who doesn't love an album cover with a flying V on it? And I was like, you know what? I do like that other track I remember hearing on the radio. I'm going to just buy this and see what the deal is with this band, right? This album was released in September 1981, recorded at Metalworks Studios in Mississauga, however you say that, Ontario, Canada. Produced by the band for Attic Records. I'm talking about Allied Forces by Triumph. Yes, the great Canadian power trio. Probably second most popular rock band after Rush, right? I guess. People call them the Baby Rush. I never thought they sounded at all like Rush. Very different, other than the fact that they were Canadian and three-piece, right? Very different sort of thing here. Of course, this is, I don't know if Triumph were never really a metal band. A hard rock band? Sure. Absolutely. Of course, Rick Emmett on all guitars, lead and backing vocals. Gilmore, drums, percussion, lead and backing vocals. And Mike Levine, bass, keyboards, and things, right? Started experimenting with some different synthesizers and things on this particular album. But yeah, great album. And before you know it, right, because I bought this pretty soon when it came out. Before you know it, started hearing a song from this album on the radio. That would be Magic Power, which became a pretty big hit for the band. And, I knew when I brought this home and started listening to this, I knew that Magic Power was going to be kind of a hit. And it started playing on the radio shortly thereafter. In fact, they had a video for it and everything like that. But there's lots of great stuff on this album. Fool for Your Love kicks it off. Good hard rocker sung by Gil. I like the fact that you have the two distinct singers in this band. Very different singers, as a matter of fact. Gil sings Fool for Your Love. Magic Power, of course, has got that falsetto from Rick Emmett. Amazing. Air Raid, the instrumental that leads into Allied Forces, the killer title track. I always thought, to me, Allied Forces is like one of those great title tracks. Reminds me of like Lights Out from UFO. They don't sound at all alike, but the impact of them, the fact how heavy they and hard driving they are, very, very similar intensity, I think, Allied Forces and Lights Out. And then Hot Time in the City Tonight, not one of my favorite songs on the album, but it's okay. Fight the Good Fight, over on side 2, probably my favorite song on here. Fight the Good Fight is amazing. That's probably like the closest Triumph gets to doing something like, sort of like Rush. Right, really good. What a great chorus, just great guitar work and great vocals. Excellent, excellent song. Ordinary Man is killer also, another great vocal from Rick. Then you got the Petite Etude, little instrumental once again. Nice little guitar piece there. And then Say Goodbye. Say Goodbye, I remember hearing on the radio, 101.5 WPDH a little bit. Played that a bit. We would hear when this album came out. Again, this is back in the day when some of these local FM rock radio stations would play deep cuts off of brand new albums from existing bands, right? So I heard Magic Power got played a ton, but I also heard Fight the Good Fight quite a bit, and I heard Say Goodbye also. Really, really good song. Say Goodbye is so memorable, so catchy. What a chorus on there. So, just under 39 minutes. Great album. Still to this day, probably my favorite Triumph album. I almost said Rush album. My favorite Triumph album. It's the first one I got. It's probably my favorite. I went immediately. So what I did next is I went and bought Rock and Roll Machine. And then I went and got Just a Game, and then Progressions of Power. And then before you know it, follow-up albums coming. What was next? Was it Never Surrender? I forget the order of the next ones coming out. But anyway, I bought all of them. And the only Triumph album I've never owned is that very last one they did after Rick Emmett left, with Phil X on guitar. And it's not awful, but I just was never really interested in or thinking I needed that, even though it's okay. To me, you take Rick Emmett out of the equation here, it's not quite the same. But it's even hard to find that these days. So even if I did want it, it's like I'd have to pay a good amount of money for it. It's been out of print forever. But yeah, this is a great album. Great album. I'm so happy I took a chance on that. And again, it's not the greatest artwork in the world, but for me to pass up something with a flying V on the cover at that time, not going to happen. I always love the logo. That's just kind of really cool stuff here. And I'm trying to remember, was there any pictures of the band on the inside? I don't recall. On the original vinyl, I don't remember. I kind of don't think so. Yeah, no, there was a shot of the three of them standing there, right? If I remember correctly, it's not on the CD for whatever reason. But yeah, awesome stuff. Let us know what you think of Allied Forces down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. We only got 2 days left, folks, and then we're going to shift gears and start talking about some of our favorite cover songs of all time. They don't necessarily have to be better than the original, but they got to be damn good. I've heard a lot of bad covers in my life. But here we're going to be talking about the really good ones. So that's coming up in just a couple days. We'll start that off on the 1st on Saturday. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page, our channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options. They're all down below. Thanks in advance for all your support, folks. Greatly appreciated, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff we got coming up. Friday morning, we've got live album Love. Rick Labonte and I will be looking at some of our favorite live albums from bands and artists of the letter E and F, right? We're going through the alphabet, so we got 2 letters for this particular episode. Before we hit G next month, G is pretty loaded, right? A lot of great bands and artists that start with the letter G and a lot of great live albums, so that's coming up next month. But also we should have, I'm going to be doing a solo Monsters Den episode Friday talking about some of the spooky spooky films I've been watching this Halloween season, because generally speaking, all of us on the Monsters Den, we start gearing up for October, and we start spending a lot of extra time with horror movies, monster movies, sci-fi movies, and things like that during the Halloween season. So seeing as it's going to be kind of like an off week for the Den, I'll be doing a quick little show just talking about some of the stuff I've been watching this month. So that's all coming up this week. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.